so I was, you know, a little worried about it. Like, all right, well, summits get a lot of people. Let's see what happens. Here we go. And it went really good. The dogs kept a really good pace coming here the whole time, and they're feeling good. And we started climbing, and that's a long, you know, it took us probably a little over an hour to get to the really steep part. And the process of going up what was fairly steep, I switched dogs around a couple of times trying to figure out what was going to be my best order, knowing that I didn't want to be stopping on the steepest part of the hill, and got the team to where I wanted it. And there's a little like plateau right before the climb, so we stopped for a minute and gave them a snack and let them kind of roll around in the snow, and it's like, all right, let's see what happens here. And the bottom part of it, there's so much snow machine activity and snow machines hitting it, trying to make it up, that it's just, I mean, it's just a fan of trails. There's, you know, and the actual trail, the quest trail is staked, you know, perfect, you can see it. But for your lead dogs, when they're trying to go up something almost as steep as this wall, and there's 6 trails on each side of them from snow machines that go off, I couldn't keep them going straight anyway. It was just, we'd move a foot and then they'd, you know, try to fall back down the other side. No, gee, bring them back and then go to the other side. And we just kept going back and forth and couldn't make any headway. And it was like, right, any second, they're gonna swing all the way back around on me and I'm gonna lose them. And I had probably a 10-foot stretch of rope on the side of my sled that was actually tied on as a repair from some jumble ice earlier in the race. So I sunk my metal brake down, so we were already started on it, and kind of pulled the sled back so it caught, and untied that and went up front with the rope and tied it onto one of the tug lines next to the lead dog and put a knot in it for myself, and that got me about 5 feet up in front of my leader. And it's like, all right, I'm the lead dog now. So here we go, guys. And one of my, wasn't quite sure how it was gonna go because I've never called the team up and ran them in front of them before. But one of my wheel dogs, Champ, was pretty stoked about Boss being up front. So I was like, all right, guys, who's with me? Champ's, started screaming, and I was like, all right, this is good. And so got all the other dogs going. So yeah, I mean, I just started pulling, and all right, let's go, and would start pulling, and we'd climb and go maybe 30-40 feet at a time, and the dogs were, you know, moving. They were staying there. A lot of times I wasn't even really pulling that much. It was just the fact that I was in front of them and giving them something to follow. But then I would need a break, so we'd stop, and then since I wasn't behind the sled to set the brake, I'd have to keep a lot of tension on it to keep us on the rope from sliding back down. But yeah, I mean, at that point it probably only took us 15 minutes maybe to get up and over once I became the lead dog. And yeah, then I guess the bigger adventure was coming down this side. The initial descent was fine, it was nice and straight, but once we got down into a valley, the trail was side hill, and the wind was whipping in that stretch. It wasn't blowing at all on the other side when we went over, but it was a pretty good ground blizzard coming across the trail. So the team I couldn't haul them up into it. You know, they would constantly be turning their faces out of the driving snow, which would turn us away from the trail, and everything was so hard packed that the dogs wouldn't know when they would get off the trail. You know, I could see the markers sticking up through the blowing snow and would see us like, all right, we're leaving the trail, but there was nothing I could do to bring them back. So we'd go until we were, you know, 200-300 feet away from the trail, and then I'd stop, and then I'd walk up, call the team to me, lead them back up to the trail, and then we'd start going again, just slowly, you know, start side hilling away from the trail. And so I probably had to go up front and bring them back to the trail maybe 3 or 4 times. So and that wasn't bad, you know, it was just part of it. But then yeah, once we got, it was maybe a half mile of that at most, and then it kind of brought us down into the willows where you could actually, you know, see the trail through the willows, and then the dogs were able to follow it no problem. And 20 minutes later, we were here. So yeah, adventure. It was kind of fun.
That sounds great. So the downhill was just as difficult as the uphill, it sounds like.
Because of the blowing snow, it was, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely less stressful at that point. I knew it was like, I knew the trail stayed in the valley, so I knew even if I lost it completely, we'd eventually find it again. So yeah, I mean, it was stress-free at that point. It was just like, all right, well, let's stay as close to the markers as we can, and we'll get there, versus the other side. I was worried about it, but it ended up, once I got out front of the team, it was easy. So yeah, no, it's
What
fun.
was the visibility though?
Great up and over the top, and visibility was good, probably 2-3 feet off the ground. I mean, you could see the top of the markers and the reflectors, the whole time. I could see 10 reflectors, so I mean, the visibility was really good. It was just like 2 feet off the ground, basically about where the dogs' backs were, was just whipping snow. So there was a couple spots there where I'd like lose sight of, or a gust of snow would start blowing in my face and would light up in my headlamp, and I wouldn't be able to see the team for a couple seconds at a time, but not too bad.
So you're the first one in here, and you got probably a pretty significant lead. How do you feel about the rest of the race here?
Really good. I mean, with how strong the dogs were coming into here, and it looks like I have at least a 5-hour lead plus rest time, which so significantly more than that even. So yeah, we're just gonna relax, because the only other thing that would be on my mind is the last run to the finish line going past home. It's 72 miles, and 35 miles into it, we literally go past our yurt and dog yard. So this is working out really good right now. We took 7.5 hours back in Central. We'll take 5 hours here after a 25-mile run. We'll go on over to Two Rivers, take 8 with all this rest. It's like, it's gonna have the team like, yeah, all right. So it'll give us confidence for just trucking right past home tomorrow.
There you go, home, just don't turn home.
Right, right. So yeah, no, I mean, knock on wood somewhere, I feel pretty confident where we're at. It's nice. It's exciting.
Well, congrats, man.
Thank you.
Welcome.